Hello, this is my tutorial for my arrangement of Grace Is Gone by Dave Matthews Band. This is a piano and vocal arrangement. So let's start. There are two parts to this song. There are the verses and the chorus, as in most songs, and during the solos you would solo with the right hand over the bass line that you use for the verse in the left hand. So I'm going to show you the verse first. It switches between three chords. It keeps going back to D each time though, so it goes D, A, D, C, D. Whenever you're actually playing it, the right hand gives a D major chord at first, and then it switches to an A. I've seen on various websites that some people play this as a major chord and some people play it as a minor chord. I don't think either one sounds right, so I leave the third, the C, out completely whenever you're playing this. That's really important in my arrangement, so that it sounds right. So you go from a D to an A without the third, back to a D again, then to a C, which doesn't fit into the key of D, but that's how the song is written, and then it goes back to a D again. So the verse ends up sounding something like this. Neon shines through smoky eyes tonight. It's 2 a.m. I'm drunk again. It's heavy on my mind. So that's basically the verse. The chorus uses different chords. It starts off with a G. Excuse me, please. Then it goes to a D. One more drink. Then to a B minor. Could you make it strong? Cause then to an A. Don't need to think she. It goes back to the G again. Broke my heart. To D again. My grace is gone. Then it goes to an A, again without the third. One more drink and I'll move on. And then back to a D, the root. So, once again, the chorus as a whole is G, D, B minor, A, G again, D again, A, and then back to D. Those are essentially all the chords you need to know, and everything else is built around that. As I said before, whenever you're soloing, after the chorus, each time you end up back on a D, and then you can just repeat the bass line for the verses in your left hand and do whatever you want with your right hand on top. If you know your basic scales, then you can pretty much play anything you want that fits into a D scale on top, except when it changes to the A or the C, at which time you might need to fiddle around with it a little bit. Again, since I don't ever have the third in the A chord whenever I'm playing it, I never play the third while I'm soloing either. I never bother to play the C natural or sharp, because again, I don't find that it fits in either way very well. If you had to pick one, it would probably be natural. It's probably more of a minor A. But again, I don't like it either way. And then whenever you're playing the C on the bottom, obviously you can't play a C sharp in the top because that sounds quite bizarre. So then everything else comes in putting together all the little parts. As an intro to the song, I personally like to just mess around with a little D chord. Just toss a couple extra notes in there, a couple E's or B's or anything you really want that fits into the D scale. And then if you want to, you can lower the third by one while going down, so you could play a C natural and an F natural. It adds a little bit of minorality, not very good on my theory, to the rest of the otherwise major chord. And then you just start off the song with some very soft chords. You don't want to play any real low notes because that'll give you too much bass. It won't sound delicate enough for the first verse. And then you progressively add more and more. For the second time the verse comes around, you might want to do a little, just quarter note bass line. And again, for the beginning, since you are trying to keep it more delicate, you sort of play more of a steady rhythm with the right hand too. then once you move on, even during the first chorus, you want to keep it sort of not very low on the keyboard, and you want to keep it sort of a very steady rhythm. Excuse me, please, one more drink. Sort of just very linear. Then once it gets to the second verse and to the chorus again, you can start adding some sort of, if you were playing it on a guitar, you would call it strumming patterns. On the piano, it's just sort of the way you rotate your hand, the way you play the notes. So you could add some more complicated rhythms in. So then once you start to play with the second verse and chorus again, it goes, excuse me, please, one more drink. Would you make it strong, 'cause I don't need to think she broke my heart, my grace is gone. One more drink and I'll move on. The most important thing is to keep a steady rhythm with your left hand. If all you can do is just keep a steady rhythm, that's all you really need. But if you can make it a little more complicated, then it sounds better, obviously. The more you have in there, the better as the song goes. And for the third verse, where it gets quieter in the actual song, I like to make it quieter again as well. More of a steady pattern. Back up to more complicated rhythms again for the last chorus. Oh, and one more thing, I guess. The second and third times you repeat the chorus, after he sings, broke my heart, my grace is gone, one more drink and I'll move on. Then after that, he says, one more drink and I'll move on. It goes up to an E minor, one more drink, to an A again, and to a D. So that's just one more little addition. And then on the last chorus, one more drink and I'll be gone. Just repeat it again. One more drink, my grace is gone. Down to a solo of some sort. And then you can solo at the end for however long you really want. And then to close off the song, you can make it a big finish if you want. I personally think it suits the song better with a quieter, more subtle finish. So you could, as you're playing, you just sort of make everything die off. You, again, take out the bass as it's going. Sort of move up your right hand a little bit, get some higher notes in there. Just a real nice soft finish. So that's it. I don't think there's really a whole lot more to say. Again, it's pretty much just some basic chords. You change up the strumming patterns, that's what I call them, even though that's not really how it is on piano. You change up the rhythms to make it sound less or more intense throughout the song. And again, while you're making it sound more or less intense in the right hand, you do the same in the left hand by removing more of the bass. That's about all there is to it. So thanks for watching, and check out more videos by me as they get posted. Thanks!